Greetings and welcome to COM 254 Intercultural Communication Online. My name is John DeBerry and I am the course manager here at Gateway Community and Technical College for COM 254 Intercultural Communication. So there's pretty strong chance that I might be your instructor, but not necessarily, so you might want to check. But what I'm going to tell you applies to any version of this class you're taking from any instructor at Gateway. So the purpose of this video is to sort of go over the basics of what this class is about and kind of show you how the Blackboard shell is set up and function and just how some stuff works to set you up for the best start possible. So to begin, what is this class? Well, the simple intercultural communication, which some of you go, yeah, duh, but what is that? Essentially, intercultural communication looks at the communication dynamics and influences that happen when people from different cultures try to communicate, whether that's verbally or non-verbally. Now, notice I said cultures, not countries. Now, why that's the case is I think we can definitely understand, for example, there's a difference between, for example, the culture of the United States versus Japan. But you can have different cultures even within the same country, right? Many of my students, for example, where we're located in North Kentucky, will talk about how less than 20 minutes down the interstate, right across the river in Ohio into Cincinnati, there's a different culture there than there is here in North Kentucky, even though we're relatively close in the actual geography. So what causes those differences to be there? What are some of the reasons why those were created and get sustained? As well as what are some tools and techniques that you can use and can help you better successfully navigate those intercultural communication situations. So that's kind of the broad gist of what the culture is about what the course is about. Now, some students worry they're going to get in and it's all going to be, sitting around singing Kumbaya and stuff, and it's not that. I mean, we are going to talk about respecting other cultures, but a lot of it is about how these cultures work, what forms, and what to look at for how to communicate successfully. So that's what the course in general is about. Now, how you will be evaluated over the course of this semester with the online version of the class is the course is broken up in Blackboard over 16 modules, okay? 13 of those modules each cover one of the chapters in the textbook. 2 of those modules are the midterm exam and the final exam. And then the last module, well, actually the 15th module, is your capstone culture assignment. It's like our big assignment we have you do to sort of really synergize everything that you've learned over the course of this semester. And so to give you a better idea of how those work and how they function, let's go ahead and look at the Blackboard course shell now. Okay, so here you see the Blackboard course. Now, you will see me occasionally go over and click on one of the tabs up here. That's simply because I'm an instructor, and in instructor view, I can't show exactly what it looks like to you, so I had to pull it up in student view in different tabs, and I have to bounce between them. Yours will just go right through it. Okay, so here is the basic course shell that you'll see in Blackboard, and the first thing you're want to do is go to this course information module, and if you click there, you'll see the start here, which will have this video as well as some other things. Here's a copy of where you can get the course syllabus. You can download that. For any of these that are set up like this, any documents, you can click on it, and then you can actually preview and read it here in the window that pops out below. Or if you click on the 3 dots, you can click download original file, and then you can actually download the document. So that's the course syllabus. You also have the course calendar, which is just really quickly, week by week, what is going to be due. The assignments within every module are due at 11:59 p.m. on the last day of the week they are assigned. So, as you can see here for Module 1, the last day here is 1/14. That's a Sunday. Every module ends on a Sunday. So by 11:59 p.m. on January 14th, you need to have all the stuff done for Module 1. And these list the modules, and then right next to it, what chapter's in there. Now, note, the first 6 modules are the first 6 chapters. So for just those first 6, the chapter number and the module number line up. But then chapter 7 is the midterm, which means module 8 is chapter 7. So after that, they don't line up. So that change does happen, but please keep that in mind. You also have on here instructor information, which is just a background information about me and contact info. And then you see a link here to something called completing the Smart Book questions. You will have a homework assignment, if you will, and which I realize everything's homework considering it's an online class. But you will need to do what's called the practice questions or the Smart Book questions for each chapter. Okay. And this is a video that will show you how that works. And I'll give you a rundown as well here in just a second. So that is the course information module. Then under that, as you can see, is each of the subsequent modules. And each of the modules that has chapter information in it is pretty much set up the same way. So if you click on module 1, which in this case is chapter 1, you'll see a couple things. So first, module overview. You'll see this in every module that basically explains what the module is, what it covers, and lists the activities that you're expected to do for each module. And this is what it looks like for all the chapters. Obviously, for the midterms and the capstone assignment, it'll look a little different, but here's still the same basic structure. So that's the first thing you'll see. Then under that, you'll see a link that has McGraw-Hill red box here, and it says Chapter 1, Studying Intercultural Communication. This is the link to the ebook Chapter 1. All right, so you have full access to the ebook version of the text. If you want to go buy a hard copy of the textbook, you can, but you are not required to. You get a full ebook version. So this first one here, this takes you to the ebook. And when you click on it, it will pop up this. It's very simple, standard ebook, just has what you need to read through and so forth. You use the arrows up here to change pages and whatnot. So pretty simple, but this is how you can access and read the ebook. Under that, you will see, in this case, Chapter 1 PowerPoint. Under the ebook, in each module that covers a chapter is the official PowerPoint that came from McGraw-Hill for that chapter. You don't have to look at these. You don't have to download them, but I know some students like to have these to take notes on or for quick reference, so it's provided here for you as an optional resource. And same as with the syllabus content earlier, if you click on the title, it will come up, and then if you click on the bar here, it'll bring up the PowerPoint slides in sort of this order so you can look through them and review them real quick. And if you want to download, again, go to the the three little buttons right here. Click that and then download original file, and then you can download, save it, print it out if you so choose. Now, underneath the PowerPoint, you will see Chapter 1 Smart Book Questions. This is the link that will take you to that homework, the Smart Book questions that you need to do for each chapter. For each chapter, these are worth 20 points. The entire course is based on 1,000 points, and how many points you get of that 1,000 is what your grade will be based on. Now, when you click on here, it will bring up this screen. Hold on. Sorry about that. Okay. It'll bring up this screen right here, and you'll have two options. One is start reading, and the other is start questions. You can also access the ebook here. If you click here, start reading, it'll bring up the ebook again, and it just might have some sections highlighted that are going to be more of the focus area of some of the questions. But over here, it'll say start questions, okay? So if you click this, and just hit got it, it brings up the question. Now, how this works is going to ask you this question. For example, now you're going to see me looking that away because I'm looking at my second monitor. It says, according to communication scholar Benjamin Broom, communication, especially blank blank, plays a key role in the peace building process. So what you'll need to do here is type in the box what it is. Now, I think the answer here is intercultural. Well, it might be intercultural / communication. All right. So you type in your answer or select it if it's a multiple choice one. And I want you to pay attention to these little ovals up here that are currently all empty. So once you put your answer in, you then select how confident you are. And I'm going to put medium. Let's go with medium. Oh, shoot. I got it incorrect. So it should be facilitated dialogue. Darn, I got that wrong. Crud. But notice up here, nothing happened. Okay, none of these bars filled in. It still says 0 of 41 concepts. Let's go to our next question. Which of the following are benefits of cultural differences in the workplace? Check all that apply. Developing new products for different culture contexts, focusing solely on current business markets, implementing a comment marketing strategy for all markets, working with diverse employees and employers. Well, I'm going to think this one. I don't think it's this one, because cultural difference wouldn't be solely on your current market. Possibly that one. And let's go with working with diverse. I'm again medium. Shoot, I got that one wrong too. Well, see, now I've answered 2 questions, but you notice none of this stuff up top has changed yet? Well, let's keep going. Now, because I got 2 wrong, it's going to ask me to read the concept, and it will take me right to where in the book this particular concept that I keep getting questions wrong in is located. So I can read through, look for it. Okay, let's go back to questions. Let's go to the next one. Which of the following is an example of a company that is competing effectively in the global market? An American restaurant chain incorporating French cuisine in the menu of its Paris branch. An American mobile manufacturer using the same market slogan in France and China. An American mass media corporation launching movie DVDs with English subtitles in Russia. And an American coffee chain moving its operations to Italy, resulting in higher labor costs. Okay? Well, I'm going to go with this one because it's an American restaurant that's making French cuisine in its Paris branch. Is that a good one? Let's go medium again. Yes, I got it right. Awesome. Now, look, you notice how this first little oval here filled up halfway? That's what the Smart book, they used to call Learn Smart is. It is what we call an adaptive quizzing matrix. Now, what that means is this will ask you questions about a concept until you get a question on that concept right. And then it will give you credit for one of typically 2 questions you have to answer right about that concept. And then if you get it wrong, it keeps asking you questions about that same concept until you get it correctly. All right? And it keeps going until all of these little bars here are full and 41 of 41 concepts are completed. So moving operations overseas to take advantage of blank has far-reaching implications for corporations. Let's go with, lower corporate taxes. I think that's right. Oh, shoot, incorrect. So see, it didn't move again. Okay, so here's the deal how this works. Your homework for each chapter is to finish this. Now, maybe you go through and you have to answer 30 questions to cover all the concepts and you answer all 30 correct, one after another. Cool. Maybe it takes you 130 questions to get the requisite number correct for all the concepts. Either one of those 2 is fine because these are worth 30 points and you get the 30 points for finishing it. It doesn't matter how many questions you have to answer in order to finish the assignment. If you finish it, you get the 30 points. Right? Does that make sense? So don't worry about missing questions on this. That's normal. It happens. It's just part of the learning process. What matters the most is that you finish it. And you know it finished because right up here it'll say 41 of 41 concepts complete and all your bars will be full up, and then it will shift and it'll start saying recharge. You do not have to do recharge. That is a practice activity. So you don't have to do it once it's recharged, all right? And it should also be noted that if it says recharged and you haven't done it and you try to do it, it won't give you credit. If that's the case, you let me know so I can give you an extension and we can work on that together. Okay, so that is how the ebook as well as the Smart Book questions works, and those are here. I show you that those are all how those works are also covered in this video, but the images in the video are what it looks like if you're doing it on the McGraw-Hill Connect homepage for the site, and that's going to look a little different because we link it through Blackboard. So I want to show you what it looks like in our system. But the general content that it says here works the same. All right, so that's how that course is set up. So chapters 1 through 6 are the ones covered in your midterm exam, and your midterm exam is in module 7. Okay, and then in chapters 7 to 13, those are covered in your final exam. Okay, each of those exams are a combination of true, false, multiple choice questions. They are not timed, but you do just get one attempt. However, because it's not timed, feel free to, on the week that it is assigned, you could go in on Monday and answer the first 5 questions and then save your progress, stop, come back to it a few hours later, or even the next day and answer 5 more. That's perfectly fine, as long as you have it all done and finished by the due date and time. If you don't, It'll give you credit for whatever questions you get right by the due date and time, and mark everything else wrong, and that'll be your grade. Okay, so you don't have to finish it all in one sitting. Okay, you can start it, save it, come back to it later. Also, you will have access to the ebook when you are taking the midterm and final. So they are both open book tests, and you can use any notes that you take throughout the course. So they are both open book, open note. All right. And if you're wondering why I have the final exam after the capstone, it's because the final exam takes place during our final exam week. Now, module 15 here is the capstone. Oh, and each of those two exams are worth 100 points each. So each of the, and we'll get to the writing assignments in a bit. But you have writing assignments in each chapters that are worth 20 points. You have the smart book that are worth 30. And then you have, or I might have that backwards, the culture project and the exams. So the culture project is right here. And I need to put some more stuff in here as the course goes on. But you'll see videos in here for recording your presentation with GoReact. All right. What you will need to do in module 5 for your culture project is you will need to use the GoReact tool, which that video shows you how to use. Those are from McGraw-Hill. There's 2 of them. And you will need to record yourself giving a presentation that needs to be 5 to 10 minutes in length. How this presentation will work is you are taking on the role of a consultant that has been hired by a company that is wanting to start doing business in a different country, a country they've never done business in before. And you've been hired as a culture expert to come in and sort of give them a presentation about, here's some of the basics, do's, don'ts, sorry, cat, some do's, don'ts, and taboos about conducting business in that particular culture. And for the project, you need to pick a country outside of the United States. I don't care what, you can't pick the US or anywhere, like don't say we're going to do business in California, another country. I don't care what country you pick. Pick anyone you want, just not the United States. And so your presentation, think of it as you're giving a presentation to the board of this company, or these are some of the things about intercultural communication, do's, taboos, and whatnot that you need to know to not try to do business in this country and stick your proverbial foot in your mouth and wind up, offending everybody and failing. So that's what that project is. And you'll need to do a PowerPoint that as well. You can look up more information about that. Now, another thing that you'll see in each chapter, let me scroll back up here. So we went over the overview. We went over the reading the ebook chapter. We went over the PowerPoint and the smart book. You'll also see for each chapter, there is a thing here that says chapter whatever number of videos, in this case chapter 1 videos. If you click on that, it'll bring up some supplemental videos for you to watch that cover the material in the chapter. And some of these videos admittedly are chapter lectures on the chapters that were done by colleagues of mine at other schools. Why we invent the wheel if they did a good job for you to watch. Others are things like TED Talks or other videos I found online, but you will see those. It's highly recommended you watch them. Now, I know some of you probably won't or don't need to, but because of different learning styles, I make sure these are here for students that are more auditory learners so they can get their information. But those are there for you to watch for each chapter. And then lastly, there's a chapter writing assignment. And these are one of these for each chapter. And this is where I got a little confused, a little backwards on my speaking. The smart book questions are worth 20 points. The writing assignments, sorry, hit my button. The writing assignments are worth 30. And you just click on them and it'll hit start assignment. And it brings it up. And you'll see the description of the assignment here. And down here is where you will submit it. Now, the writing assignments will pretty much be one of 2 things. These are a journal writing activity or a discussion board activity. In the journal writing activity, I ask you a prompting question, maybe with a series of a few questions, and you need to write a thoughtful response answering those questions. And the entirety of the journal entry needs to be a minimum of 12 sentences to count. All right? Now, nobody sees your journal entry but me. So you can be as frank, as blunt, as honest as you want in these journal entries, okay? Nobody will see them but me. The other type of writing activity you might wind up doing, and here's an example of these in chapter 2, is a discussion board. So same deal. Now the discussion board's a little different. In the discussion board, you are expected to make 3 posts. The first is your primary post. This is your post in which you are answering the discussion board question that's put forth in the assignment. That's your first post. The other two are what I call the response posts. And these need to be thoughtful responses to two other classmates' primary posts. Does that make sense? Nope. So two posts in response to the same primary, that only counts as one response. So you need two response posts responding to two different classmates. Now, for both the primary and the response posts, they need to be a minimum of 4 sentences each to count. They can be longer, that's fine, but minimally 4 sentences each to count. All right, so that's discussion board versus the journal. Now, obviously, because you have to respond to classmates' posts, they can see what you write for your journals. So for your discussion boards. So your discussion boards will be visible to your classmates for responding, but only I will see your journals. Okay? So that is kind of the basics of the course and kind of how it is designed to function. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask your instructor, whether it's me or somebody else. And so with that being said, again, I'd like to welcome you to the course and just give you a couple of big keys for success. Number one, don't get behind. One of the biggest mistakes I see students make, and I myself fell victim to this as a student, is falling. It is very difficult to catch up in a 100% online class if you get behind, because the work doesn't stop coming. It keeps coming. Like in a regular class, you may have a week or two where you don't have many assignments. You just have to come to class and learn some stuff. It's always new stuff coming down the pipe with an online class. So stay up to date. Don't get behind. 2, read everything. If I post an announcement, read it. All instructions that are in each of the modules, read them thoroughly and thoughtfully. Okay? Number 3, ask for help. If you don't understand something or confused, please reach out to your instructor. Send them an email or use the message feature within Blackboard to reach out to them. Okay? And also plan ahead. Specifically, remember look ahead and see when those exam modules are coming up so you can start thinking about studying ahead of time. Specifically, keep in mind when Module 15, which is your big capstone culture assignment's coming up, because you'll need to start prepping for that. You don't want to have to do all that work that 1 week. You're probably going to start prepping for that ahead of time, right? But if you do those things, plan ahead, don't get behind, make sure you read everything thoroughly, you should be set up for success in the course. And with that, I welcome you again to COM 254 Intercultural Communication, and I wish you the best of luck over this semester, and I hope you get a lot out of this course. Thank you and have a great day.